Feeling overwhelmed by the challenges of being a single parent? You are not alone. Welcome to Single Parent Reset, the podcast that helps you navigate the ups and downs of single parenthood and find the balance that you deserve. Whether you're a single parent, co-parent or solo parent, this is the show for you. I'm Orla and I'm a life coach for single parents and a single parent myself. I know how hard it can be, but I believe every single parent has the strength to create a life that they are proud of. For more information about me and the work that I do, please visit my website solascoaching.com. That is SOLAS coaching.com. In each episode of this podcast, we'll be shining a light on the unique struggles single parents face and cover the aspects of being a single parent that are often overlooked and left unspoken. I'll be sharing actionable steps to help you overcome these challenges and find more calm and fulfillment in your life. Single Parent Reset is your weekly opportunity to gain a fresh perspective, take back control, and feel more in charge of your journey. Are you guilty of spending evening after evening feeling completely overwhelmed and isolated, wishing someone could swoop in and fix everything? But then, when people ask you, how are you doing? You slap on your best smile and cheery voice and say everything's fine because you couldn't bear the thought that people would think you are not coping. Well, I think you most certainly need to listen to today's episode, where we are going to break down why it's okay to say I'm not okay, because trust me, pretending everything is fine when it's not is just not doing you any favours. Today's episode, let's drop the facade and learn how to be more honest and get the support we really need. Many single parents feel completely unseen and are baffled that people cannot see how much they are not coping. But maybe, just maybe, the reason for this could be that they can't see what they can't see. What I mean by that is that whilst yes, on the inside, you may be struggling a lot, but on the outside, you could be putting on a face that everything is fine, and therefore, how are people to even know? Have you shared your real struggles with others? And I mean really shared, because if you haven't, people are not mind readers, and everyone is so caught up in their own lives that they might not even realise just how much you are draining right now. Because while you may feel like you are draining, you may have also perfected the art of appearing to be moving through life just swimmingly. For me, learning to be open and honest about how I'm really feeling and what I'm really struggling with has been key to remaining sane. Like many single parents, I have had to field many a challenging situation. And I learned pretty quick that there is just no point pretending everything's fine, and really it was the furthest thing from it. Through some trial and error, I found my rhythm learning how and when I needed to open up to others with my struggles. And I want to break that down for you today, exactly why we as single parents may be holding it all in and how to move past this and learn to say, I'm not okay right now, and see the benefits that come from admitting all that is not going as well as it may seem to others. I want to spend a bit of time exploring, first of all, why do we even do this as single parents? Why do we pretend that everything is okay when it really isn't? Well, there are so many factors at play here, from external pressures to internal pressures we put on ourselves. There's societal expectations, this idea of what parent means and how we should be the best parent. And there's also the stigma of being a single parent and all that goes along with that, and how we can really stack that on top of ourselves. And then single parents, we want to shield our children from any of our adult worries, and therefore we put on this brave face at home. And we also avoid sharing our struggles with friends or family because the last thing we want to be seen as is a burden to them. At work, we want to appear that we are completely reliable and unaffected in any way by the fact that we are single parents, adding additional pressures to ourselves. And then looking at our internal pressures, many single parents are guilty of holding themselves to incredibly high standards, feeling they should be able to do it all without needing any help, and see their hyper-independence as a badge of honour. You might also be holding a fear of being judged. Even when support is available, internalized fear of being judged or being seen as not coping can stop you as a single parent from reaching out. Worrying about being seen as weak or not enough can lead you to hiding your real feelings. Or maybe you're reluctant to being vulnerable. It can feel so risky to admit that you're struggling, especially if you're used to being the one who keeps everything together. These pressures from both the world around us and from within can make it feel impossible to drop the mask. And it's no wonder that so many single parents feel isolated and exhausted. But by recognizing these pressures, this is the first step towards giving yourself the permission to be honest about how you are really feeling. And you might be wondering, well, okay, so I'm kind of a bit clearer as to where this is coming from and what are the factors that drive it, but I'm still not too sure if I actually act in this way. So I want to talk through some examples of what does it look like when you're pretending everything's fine when really it's not. Examples of how this can show up for you could be saying I'm fine when you know you're not, overcompensating for your perceived failings, so volunteering for everything, being hyperproductive, or withdrawing or hiding your struggles from others. And what is the cost of keeping up this facade that everything's fine when it's not? Well, you can run into emotional burnout, you can have a real sense of loss of connection with others, and your stress levels can go through the roof. The risk of never getting support you actually need is very high if you're not sharing with others exactly how you feel. They will not know how to help you. And it can also reinforce the myth that single parents do it all effortlessly because we just continue to plod on, pretending everything's fine when it's not. We need to start letting people know exactly how we're feeling so that people stop saying, you're amazing, you're fantastic as a single parent, when you're thinking, I have no idea what is giving you that impression. And why does it even matter to be open? Well, there's such a relief and freedom that comes from being honest about your struggles. And being vulnerable can actually strengthen your relationships with your friends, your family, and your kids. And it will also send off positive ripple effects, giving others permission to be open and honest with you too. Let's now talk about some of the ways you can move past the urge to always be okay and why it's not only normal but healthy to admit when things are not going so well. First, it's important to remember that single parenthood is ongoing. There isn't a magic point where you're suddenly over the hard parts. Even years after divorce or a big change, life keeps evolving and so do the challenges. And it's absolutely okay to need support no matter how long you've been on this journey of single parenthood. Sometimes we convince ourselves we've had to be hyper independent, that we need to handle everything alone. But honestly, nobody can do it all the time. So give yourself permission to let this go. If you're not okay, this is not a failure. It's simply being a normal person. Think about everything you might be carrying right now. You've got work, parenting, finances, your own well-being. It's just a lot to be shouldering. And of course, it is okay to admit that things are not perfect. Sometimes even just listing out everything on your plate can help you see why you feel the way you do. And it can remind you that your feelings that you're feeling are completely valid. A big part of letting go of the I'm fine mask is getting over your fear of what might happen if you're honest. Maybe you're worried about saying too much or not having your thoughts fully formed and then regretting what you've shared. But it's okay to figure things out as you talk. You don't need to have the perfect words, just start where you are. And if you're nervous about sharing, try reflecting on how you feel after you do. Do you feel lighter, more connected? Sometimes just voicing your struggles, even if you're not looking for advice, can just be a huge relief. A tip for sharing with others, especially if you're worried about oversharing, is you can even time limit your venting. Give yourself 5 minutes to get it all out and then see how you feel and if you want to continue. And be clear with others about what you need. If you want someone to listen and not jump in to fix things, say so. Say, I don't need advice right now, I just need someone to hear me. That clarity can make the sharing feel safer and give you the space you really need. And if opening up to others just feels too daunting right now, start small. You could journal your thoughts or even record a voice note to yourself. And I've said this so many times in this podcast, but it could not be more relevant for this topic of getting okay with saying you're not okay. and that is connecting with other single parents. Getting to know other single parents is transformative in helping you understand that it's okay to not be feeling okay. Speaking to other people who get it, who know what you're going through, is key. Look up what's going on in your area for single parents, or look online at Frollo or Gingerbread support groups and reach out and start connecting with other single parents today. And if you really are struggling, know that it's okay to look for additional outside help through a coach or a therapist if that feels right for you. No matter what, remember you're allowed to need the support, you're allowed to take up the space with your feelings. Dropping the mask is an act of courage, and it's one of the best gifts that you can give yourself, I promise you. And being open doesn't mean you have to suddenly share every struggle or become someone who's always negative. It's simply about letting people see a little more of what's really going on so you can get the support you genuinely need. Give yourself permission to be honest, to ask for help, and accept it when it's offered. You deserve care just as much as anyone else does. Sometimes it's letting others see the real you is the first step to feeling less alone and more understood. And if you're struggling, know that you're not alone and you never have to carry it all by yourself. The pressure to appear fine is something that so many single parents face. But I hope after listening to today's episode, you now really know that it's okay to let that mask slip and show what's really going on underneath. Being honest about your struggles doesn't make you weak. It makes you human just like everyone else, and it opens the door to real connection and support. Letting others in doesn't mean you're complaining or looking for pity. It's simply about being real and allowing yourself to be supported when you need it the most. Whether you start by sharing with a friend, journaling your thoughts, or just acknowledging to yourself that things are tough right now, every small step counts. As single parents, we show up every single day, even on the days we really don't feel like we can, and that takes incredible strength. Be kind to yourself and give yourself the permission to say, I'm not okay. My challenge to you this week is to look past all the pressure you're putting on yourself to pretend everything's fine and share with just one person how you are really feeling. And if the thought of this fills you with absolute dread, share it with me. Send me a DM on Instagram and I'm more than happy to listen. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of Single Parent Reset. You have taken 15 minutes out of your day to do something for you, and that alone is a step in the right direction towards living a life you deserve. If you're interested in working with me one-to-one, please go to my website, solacecoaching.com, for further details. And don't forget to follow my Instagram page @solacecoaching for more insightful content on living a life to be proud of as a single parent. As always, if you find this episode useful, please share with your friends and family. Remember, many single parents may seem like they have it all together, but this could be exactly what they need to help them move forward today.